Hello friends, welcome to our channel Contemporary Literary Review India. In today's interview, I am with the author Mala Mahesh. Mala Mahesh was born and brought up in Mumbai. In 1999, she moved to Singapore where she lives with her husband, two children, a Labrador and Magic. She published her first book in the early 2000s, titled History of Painting for Young Readers, and contributed the column Artbeat for Young World, the children's supplement of the Hindu newspaper. She also contributes to the company newsletters and promotional materials. Padma is her second novel and her first literary fiction. Mala Mahesh works with her husband in their shipping and logistics company named Transworld Group Singapore. Her other interests include event planning, both commercially as well as for charity. She enjoys walking, cycling, dancing, and golf, and is very particular about living a healthy life. Before I move ahead, please subscribe to our channel. Hello, Miss Mala Mahesh. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? So,
I hope that
well.
you are rocking.
Yes.
Okay. So, would you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mala Mahesh. I'm from Singapore. I live here. Been living here for quite some time. I've written a book called Padma. This is my first fiction and the second book. And I live in Singapore. We have our own shipping logistics company. So between my husband and me, so that's my business. Writing is my hobby. So
Okay.
all of it.
So you run this business, is it?
Yeah, between my husband and me, we are into shipping.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. That is based in Singapore.
Singapore and Southeast Asia, Indian subcontinent.
Okay. That's great. So what is your journey in the field of writing? Means how and since when you started writing?
Actually, I started writing, my first book actually was a non-fiction book. It's called Story of Painting for Young Readers. It's gives information from prehistoric to present times, a little bit of art history, and it's meant to give a little introduction about painting styles and techniques and all for children, and it's of course for others. Anybody who's interested in painting, who just wants to know a little information painting. So I just give all the different introductions. So that was my first book that I had written, and that was way almost 20 years back. And after that, I had a chance to write for the Hindu. They have this the Young World publication, and so every Friday it was I was writing a small column from called the Art Beat, just giving different styles of art and all that. And of course, after that, I got involved in my business, and writing meant for the business. Like we had little newsletters and other promotional activities. So more writing for that as a hobby. And then I think almost 11 years back, I had this stories that my grandparents told me. They had a lot of stories about the life in the villages, and of course other usual drama and other stories. So there was this one particular story that my grandmother had told me about one of my ancestors, about this one lady who had issues, who didn't have children, and so that was a major problem, and she was basically humiliated and not treated well because she was unable to have a child. So that struck in my mind, and that formed the motivation for me to write, inspiration for me to write this book, Padma.
Okay. Generally, it happens that if any woman doesn't bear a child, then it actually gives a very bad stigma, okay, in the society. Right. So what is your book, Padma, all about?
Padma is about basically, it's a book on womanhood actually. So it's two women, one from 1900s Kerala and one present times, present day Mumbai. And there's two women, they are independent, I mean, the present day woman is Naina, the early one is Padma. And both have different backgrounds and different time periods, but they all both have the same problem of infertility. They are unable to have children, and how this affects their life and life of the family. And I mean, that's what the whole story is about, and how they find in themselves to find the answers, and they battle it. Padma goes through her, starts from marriage and through her life till her thing. And but Naina's story is like for just past within 2 years span actually. So, and it kind of mirrors, but then they still have their different ways of approaching the problem, and how the problem also changes them. So finally, how they find the resolution. So
okay. Why did you choose two generations to tell this story? Because you have put these two ladies to symbolize two generations. So, is there any reason, a strong reason behind this?
Yes, actually, I mean, it started with my initial idea was to write a book about this lady. I mean, set it in Kerala and in 1900s, and how it was the social construct then, and how when you don't have children, how the women has faces a lot of hurdles from our family. So that was the idea. I just started writing that. But as I researched for the book and I was reading a lot, I just found out, I realized that this issue is still prevalent today. I mean, infertility and issues relating to that is still a taboo. People still don't talk about it. And and then, I mean, there are many people who are even now, they feel awkward to talk about their bodies and about the issues relating to it. So then there is, people still suffer alone. There's still loneliness. So I just realized I wanted to make the story more prevalent and more issues prevalent. I wanted to make it more for this particular time. So so the present generation also connect with it actually. So it's more relevant to the present time. So that's why I created two characters.
Right. Yes, that is actually that is what I said, that okay. The issue is that if any woman bears no child, then it becomes an issue. Actually, we have other alternatives, but people even today are not encouraged to adopt children from other places. So they are very reluctant to adopt any child. Okay. This is because that is the best alternative. Okay. But still, yes, that becomes a stigma in the society for women particularly. So do you think that this issue is only a woman issue, like only women should be bothered about or should be concerned about, or they should be raising issues or voice against this?
It's actually not just a woman's issue. I mean, this can be, I mean, like medically, if you see, number one is issues relating to infertility is quite common. And I was just reading about it, and I mean, they say there are studies that say that actually you can say 30% the cost can be with the woman. Maybe, I mean, around 30% can be with the men in a couple. And sometimes it can be both, or it can be some other unrelated cause. So basically, that's a kind of a rough average. So it is the problem can be with either the man or the woman in a marriage. So between the couple, but then obviously I mean, not many men are ready to accept it, because again, it's a society based construct that if you say, the men say that, oh, I can't have a child, means you're not a man anymore, So then there is, so So people are, they don't want to get tested, they don't want to get evaluated, so they don't want to accept it, and so the blame, obviously, again, it's easiest to blame the women. So so it is not a totally women's problem. So it has to be seen both the sides.
Right, right. Actually, this is a very prevalent and very common question. Okay, because most of the time, if particularly if there is any such issue between couple, then it is very easy to accuse women. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And the society will easily accept that allegation.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the response to your book from the market?
So far, it's pretty good. Touch wood. I mean, I mean, it's been, I think at one point of time, when I checked, it had come within 20, top 20, but so that keeps up and going in Amazon, and I'm getting pretty good reviews, actually. I think that's what is important. It's almost, sometimes it's out of 5, it's sometimes 4.8 or 4.5, even in Goodreads. And personally, a lot of people have sent me messages, and also, I mean, there is a lot of people go on. There are these bookstagrammers, who've been reading it and giving their reviews. So then, and they've also been spreading the word. Actually, they have a lot of followers. So there's been a lot of interest, and we've also sold in when I had this book releases. And in fact, in Singapore, I had a book launch. So, I mean, whatever book I had got sold out. So then we are into the next. So it's doing well so far, touch wood. But it's just kind of, I just launched it now. So I guess we have to keep pushing and marketing it. It's good, actually. So far, it's been good.
Yes, yes, true. You are absolutely right, because you have to push this to particularly promote your book in the sense like it should sell. Okay. So what is the main subject that you highlight in your book, particularly in Padma?
Actually, one, I mean, of course, it is a book about infertility, and but then infertility or not having, I mean, the children is actually not the main. I mean, it is one of the topic, but the main thing is it's a book on womanhood. Actually, it's what women want, and both Padma and Naina face different issues and different problems, and these like any thing, problems also affect you at some point of time, and it's about finding, being honest enough to find, be brave to accept your problems, your I mean, your issues, and then overcome it. So for me, that is the main construct, and the main thing about the book, so that you have problems of infertility, and that creates other problems, but then you find it in yourself to be honest with yourself and be brave and find the courage to solve your own problems. That for me is the main message I would like to give, not. Okay. And then, of course, I hope that this book also creates, I mean, because it also has given me, I've given an idea of what actually happens, what people go through. So it probably, hopefully, gives creates an empathy also for people suffering with this issue.
True, true. So this is a little bit different question. Like, how do you think that, okay, book readership has changed in last 20 years?
Like I said, I mean, anybody, if you, now you have this, so many of these OTTs and games and everything. So then there is, these are much more easy. When you read a book, I mean, you're reading it, and your mind is in it, you're concentrating, actually even carrying a book. Of course, even if it's a laptop or an iPad, you're still carrying something, reading it. But when you are watching a movie or playing a game, I mean, not all your senses are involved, just probably okay, you're listening. So what happens is, I guess, over the years, I mean, I can't blame anybody, but life is difficult when people are running, working hard, and coming back, taking care of children, and At the end of the day, you're so tired. So this temptation is always to put on the TV, watch some news, watch cricket, or watch play a game, and then just go to sleep. So then the idea of, okay, let's read a book, take a book, read it, and spend some time. Unfortunately, there is always a competition that book has with electronic media, with games and things. So, and that will remain. I don't think that will change. But then there's always one group of people who love reading, and like I mentioned that past 2 years, because of the pandemic, the readership actually has increased. I mean, I was just reading somewhere that even the Amazon and many other book, platforms have recorded a higher sale because I guess people want to, during that 2 years, nobody want them. You put on the TV, it's just only COVID. So I guess there's some time to shut it off and read something else. So then it has increased. So hopefully there will always be, the group of people who always like reading, and this readership will always be there. It's not going to go back. It'll have competition with the other forms of media and games and things like that, but it'll never phase out actually. As long as people are there, then we always want to read, whether it's ebook or whether it's print book. So it'll always be there. So yes, that's
yeah, you actually talked a very interesting question, but because you have highlighted very good factors like how or why readership has decreased. And yes, hopefully the good thing is that it is increasing a little bit. And another good thing that I would like to add, that recently, like OTT, as you said, that OTT platform is increasing. This OTTP is actually pushing sales of fiction as well, because nowadays many producers and filmmakers are actually coming to the publishers and writers to pick up their stories, new stories. So I believe that this new trend will help the writers to grow.
And then that will also, in a way that probably when you watch a movie, then you might be more motivated to read the book later. So that's the good thing.
Correct.
I mean, for somebody reading anyway, so it doesn't make a difference, but it'd be nice to convert a lot more people into reading. So
correct, true. Okay, so did you face any issue while writing, like how to start writing, how to create characters, how to create a story, and how to get it editing by some editor? So if there is anything that you want to share to the audience.
I am actually in the beginning, it took some time for me to write it because I had finished the first draft within 2-3 years. I started in 2011, finished within 2014. But of course, I've been busy with work, and there are other priorities which take time. So then after finishing the first draft, though I was editing it, I didn't have time fully. Like I used to do a little, go back to work. I was doing it off and on thing. But I kept doing a lot more research and all that. So then actually, in fact, actually it was during the pandemic time, like when we all sitting here, so I decided, okay, I need to just finish off writing. So then I sat through the whole, lockdown period, nobody could go anywhere, so sat down through the whole thing and finished editing. I had already written in the draft, but rereading, editing. So, but one of the things that I had is, of course, in a way I was lucky because there are some parts which are medical based. There are some parts which need a legal things to be checked, and psychological aspects. So then my daughter is a clinical psychologist and my son is a lawyer. So then I told them, okay, fine, please read these aspects and say if they are right. And because and my cousin is a doctor, so those portions I told them to please read it and check, and because I want to make sure it is as close to things as possible. And then they were, I was also talking about surrogacy. So I had to keep checking the surrogacy laws, which just recently got, the laws got passed. So then I had to make sure. Luckily, my story was within what the surrogacy laws was there, so I didn't have to rewrite the whole thing. So these were the issues that I wanted to make sure that they were as close to, reality as possible. So that took a lot of time researching actually. So I want to make sure kept reading and researching. And as far as editing is concerned, I learned, I decided to, somewhere in the middle, I said, okay, fine, because writing itself takes time. And then I was like reading, when I want to give the book for publishing, that'll take even more longer, because now publishers, you have to give it to, agents, and we have to give publishers. So it's like, I want to do it myself. And there are a lot of websites which will show you how to self-publish. So there are Amazon, there are many other things. So I said, I want to do the publishing yourself. So we have the control of the book. So I decided to self-publish. And when you want to do self-publish, there are many resources available. If you want to get, I had a very good editor, managed to get a very good, copywriter, and somebody to correct like marketing. So there are these resources like Upwork and see, a lot of them are there. You have a lot of blogs available. So those are helpful to make the book worthy of being published. So I got a check, rechecked, and I had a lot of 1 or 2, 3 times editing it, but it was finally come to a thing. So then, and of course, now the marketing is on to us to do it. So these were the main thing for me is to make sure that my facts were correct. So I wanted to check it, and I went down many other options. Doing a lot of research.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you for sharing this valuable information. If you have anything extra to share.
Nothing. I just hope you'll like it, read it, please give your response on Goodreads and Amazon.
Do you have any copy of your book right now? You can show to the camera. Yes.
This is my book, Padma.
Okay. That's great. Padma.
This is a blurb.
Fine.
This is my
nice.
This is, I've given all the design. It talks about houses in India, South India, Kerala. So these are the layouts basically related to the story, and because it's a family, big family, I kind of created a family tree so that people understand what it is. And since it's a book, I used a lot of Indian words and a lot of Kerala, and I've also put glossary and a bit. So we are this book is on Kerala. That's my background. Madam Kerala. So given a bit of our background, the history of Kerala. So
okay. Nice. That's nice. Okay. Thank you. Yes. That's great.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time.
Welcome. My pleasure. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.